Well, good morning. Good morning. How y'all be this beautiful Wednesday? All right, we are continuing on this theme. And just so you know, I upload these on YouTube and found some haters. So guess don't ask for what you don't want. Ask and you shall receive. So if you're watching the replay, go ahead and say hashtag replay. But let's go and dive on in. I am going to read a little section from this book. I can drop the link so that you can just click and check it out if you wish. But I want to read a little bit about this and expand on it because maybe you heard chat 1, maybe you heard chat 2, and in the back of your mind is, well, that may work for her, but that just doesn't work for me. Or she might be, free to receive riches and wealth, but I just, that's not me. I don't come from that. I don't deserve that. So why some do not really believe that they deserve a financial harvest. Let's just go ahead and dive on into that, because what I find is, as I talk boldly about topics, we tend to lie to ourselves and say, again, that's for her, or that's for her. I don't know what else to say. And we buy into the lie that it's not for us. And yet roots of inferiority can grow deep, okay? So he dives into the fact that he was born and raised in Louisiana, and obviously one of the most common explanations of lack and poverty that he has heard over 1,000 times is, I don't have an education, my mother and father had no education, we're just poor country folk, right? And I suppose those statements have been spoken into, this is the author, right? My ears thousands of times explaining poverty and lack of financial supply. You see, thousands are so conscious of their weaknesses and limitations. They cannot even imagine themselves in a beautiful car, a luxurious home, the ability to write out a check for any need at any given time. Poverty, listen to this, poverty can become a part of your lifestyle so easily. Many adopt and adapt to lack. So again, he's not talking about a false humility that many put on like a cloak. He is talking about a deep-rooted philosophy or feeling that success is too far away to pursue. Just pause and think about where you fall. This is a really good conversation, okay? So people will just say, I don't deserve anything. And he rebuttals. Then why are you trying to get a place in heaven? Do you feel that you deserve that? I got to turn the page. Do you believe that you have the right to walk on streets of gold, but not have a raise every month that you bring home? That's absurd. Something is out of balance. What makes a man dare to ask God for an eternal residence next to the Apostle Paul, but think it is prideful to ask him for a new car? Now, thankfulness is a beautiful and wonderful quality. Unthankfulness is poisonous. Humility is precious and to be treasured. There is nothing wrong with feeling that God has blessed you beyond what you deserve. Every person who has been in the presence of God for any length of time feels this way. His glory is enough. His glory is enough. If you have tasted, you know that to be true. His forgiveness is enough. Where would we be without that? Nowhere. Okay? Lost, hopeless, dying, right? It is true. If he never gave us a thing on earth, his presence satisfies every part of our being. It is a wonderful attitude that God treasures. But let's focus on the devastating. I'm going to drown this in your mind. I'm going to bring it on home. Let's focus on the devastating and poisonous cancer of inferiority and loss of confidence that makes a man crawl away from God instead of boldly approaching God. Think about that. If you don't feel like you deserve it, if you don't feel like you are worthy and you have this spirit of inferiority, that is going to impact so much more than just your money. And could it be that at the root, you actually don't believe in the goodness of God? Because if he is a good God, He takes pleasure in giving you good things. He delights in that. He delights in the fact that you do live a life on this earth in the natural realm, that you are at peace, absolutely, but that you are not burdened by the stressors. You see, if you are burdened by the stressors, then you, again, are focused on what you can do to make your circumstances better. Instead of putting your eyes on him and saying, I'm casting my cares, download divine strategies because I know you're a good God and he's all-knowing. So he knows how to get you out of the mess, even if you put yourself in that mess. Because he surely didn't. He doesn't want you in that mess. He's not interested in you and I being burdened down by stressors. He would rather us live in the fullness of who he is and what he offers, so that not only you and I can bring glory to his name, but we can proclaim the gospel without being hung up. How many of you are absolutely free to go and do what he's called you to do? See, I lived in Washington State most of my life. I actually had no plans on moving. But when he called us to Georgia, literally from the day he said it's time to the day of signing papers on a house, it was 3 weeks. And we moved less than 2 weeks later. Friends, December 29th, in my quiet time, Holy Spirit flipped a page in the spiritual realm, flipped a page and said, you're done here. And I said, if this is of you, open doors that no man can open and slam shut doors that no man can close. I needed him to be the dot connector of what he was calling us to, and we would be obedient. And we were able to pick up our lives and move across the country, a family of 6. I'm not saying he's going to ask you to do that, right? You're sitting there going, I don't want to move. That's out of my comfort. I get it. Oh my goodness, I get it. Right? But many do not feel they are worthy or deserving of any good thing. That is why their faith has not brought them into his presence to receive the miracle harvest they deserve. The miracle harvest they deserve. I want you to marinate on that statement today. The miracle harvest that you deserve. And tomorrow we're going to dive in deeper, because my friends, if you recognized how good he is and you allowed for yourself to be receptive of his grand ideas, his abundance for your life, you would not only live free from the stressors of this earth, which, by the way, is not part of your covenant. Okay? He has good things for you. He wants you to walk out in abundance. But also, he wants you to be free and available to spread the good news and expand the kingdom. Because this life is but a blink of an eye. And eternity is forever. So, ponder where you and your faith has limited you, and therefore has not brought you into his presence to receive the miracle harvest that you deserve.